Okay.
Okay.
So I did my presentation about Puerto Rico, or Boriken was the original name for it, because that's where my dad's family is from. And I feel like when they moved to Hawaii, a lot of the way they did a lot of things was changed. So I wanted to learn more about Puerto Rico, and I feel like I did learn a lot that I didn't know before, and about how my family moved from Puerto Rico to Hawaii. So Puerto Rico is 3,500 square miles. It's a little bit smaller than Hawaii Island. It's in the Caribbean, uh, and it's been a territory of the United States since 1889, after Spain ceded from the Spanish-American War, and the U.S. obtained Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. The main language is Spanish because it was colonized by Spain from 1493 to 1898. The native people are called Tainos, and it has about 143 islands, but only 3 of them are inhabited. The 3 are the main island, Puerto Rico, and then Vieques and Culebra. So that's Puerto Rico right there. So can you see my mouse thing?
Yep, we can.
So this is San Juan. It's the capital city, and it's named after the original, or not the original name, the name given by Christopher Columbus to Puerto Rico, which was San Juan Bautista, which is John the Baptist. And this is Ponce, where my family is from. And then these are the 2 other islands that are inhabited. And then this is El Yunque, which is it's the only rainforest registered in the U.S. national parks. And it's culturally significant to the Tainos, the native people of the island. So los Tainos are the native people of Puerto Rico. So here, wait, let me. So when the Spanish arrived, they were hit by a lot of disease and abuse, and they were slaves along with people from West Africa and other indigenous peoples from South America. As a result of the different people being brought to the island and interracial marriages, Puerto Ricans are typically of West African, Spanish, and Taino blood. It was formerly taught that the Tainos were dead, but it was brought to light that most people in Puerto Rico do actually carry Taino DNA, and therefore are descendants of and are Tainos. And there is a Taino language, and along with that and other cultural traditions are being brought to life, and attempts at revival are being made. So, oh yeah. So they had their own social and political and cultural systems. So a cacique was a leader or a chief. Ni Tainos were nobles. Boiques were the priests who were kind of like the ministers to the gods and medicine men. Naborias were working class or common people, and they lived in yucayeques, which are villages, and they had social gatherings in bates, and they had dances called areitos. So a lot of Taino culture has influenced local cuisine, music, vocabulary, and art. So 2 major gods of the Tainos are Atabe, which is the most important goddess. She's the goddess of fertility and water, and I saw somewhere where she was referred to as Mother Earth. And then Yukau, which is the son of Atabe and is the masculine representation of fertility, and rules over the fertility of yucca, which is a root plant originating in South America and has multiple uses like wheat and farina, and was highly regarded in Caribbean, South, and Central America. It's also referred to as manioc, tapioca, cassava, and mandioca. So this one's kind of all over the place, but these are the native plants and species. So there's the mucaro, which is an owl, also called the Puerto Ricans screech owl. Flor de maga, which is another type of hibiscus. and it's the national flower of Puerto Rico, and it grows on small to medium-sized trees. There is the Cocoloba rugosa, which is related to the sea grape tree, and not native exclusively to Puerto Rico, but it's native to like the Caribbean tropical islands. The Amazona vitata, which is the only parrot native to Puerto Rico, and it's endangered and lives in neotropical areas. And then La Mariquita de Puerto Rico, it's endangered due to forestation to make sugarcane plantations. It formerly lived in coastal forest areas, but now it's only limited to the Mona and Monita Islands. And it's also called the yellow-shouldered blackbird. And then there's the coqui, which is a little frog that makes a chirping sound. It's a national symbol for Puerto Rico. It's celebrated in music and other forms of art. And it's an invasive species to Hawaii after being accidentally brought on a boat shipment. So these are some pictures of them. The coqui is really cute. And this is the parrot, and then this is the hibiscus, the owl, and then the mariquita. Okay, and then here are some foods. So, wait. There is pasteles, which are kind of like a tamale, but not really. They're stuffed with pork with meat inside masa, which is dough made out of plantains, and then they're wrapped and cooked in banana leaves. Mofongo, which is mashed fried plantains mixed with garlic and pork rind or any meat you want really, onion, cilantro, and other basic flavoring. And then arroz con habichuelas, which is rice and beans, sometimes meat, and basic seasonings, garlic, onion, cilantro, and sofrito. So yeah, wait. Oh yeah, okay, wait. Food is a large aspect of Puerto Rican culture. It's something that you can take with you even when you're not at home. Puerto Ricans have a lot of celebratory holidays where they make these foods. Holidays are very large scale. Some of the celebrations include Catholic holidays, Christmas, Three Kings Day, and Noche Buena. Puerto Ricans are actually also really passionate, sometimes really loud, and greatly value taking care of family and people. So that culture has been taken to Florida, New York, as well as other East Coast cities, San Francisco, and Hawaii through immigration diasporas. And I hope that Puerto Ricans living in Hawaii can take the inspiration of the renaissance of Hawaiian culture and Native people. They can take it back to Puerto Rico with them so that they can find out their home and where they come from and be a part of the revival of the culture that really, really influences the way they probably grew up and who they are. So that's it.
Chloe, do you know if you're Tainos?
Here, wait. Oh, wait 1 second. I'm sure I am because I saw somewhere that like 80% of the island is Taino. So the chances of me being Taino is really, really high.
You have an 80% chance.
Yeah.
And I just want to make a